And 13 News at 5 begins with breaking news tonight.
A grand jury today indicted 2 IMPD officers for the shooting of a man who was sleeping in a car in his grandmother's driveway. 13 News was the first to tell you about that breaking news with a push to your phones earlier this afternoon.
Now, since then, we've had our team covering every angle of this story. John Duran's been checking in with Anthony Macklin's family and getting more info.
Yeah, but our team coverage begins tonight at 5 with Karen Campbell. She's down at IMPD headquarters. Karen's been talking with the Marion County prosecutor today about the charges these officers face. Karen?
Well, Scott, Prosecutor Ryan Mears says these officers, IMPD officers Carl Chandler and Alexander Gregory, indicted on multiple felony counts, including battery with a deadly weapon and criminal recklessness. Now, Chief Randall Taylor was informed of the charges earlier today. He released a statement less than 2 hours ago saying the officers should be considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Now, we know this all stems from an incident last New Year's Eve when officers arrived on the scene of when Anthony Macklin was actually sitting in his car, sleeping in his grandmother's driveway. And this was all caught on body camera video. Take a look at this.
Police! 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 Put your hands!
That body cam video from IMPD shows officers shooting Anthony Macklin as he sat again in his car in his grandmother's driveway. He was sleeping. His grandmother called 911 asking police to come check it out. Officers say Macklin had a gun in his lap. When Macklin woke up and started to move, officers started shooting. In the video, IMPD claims Macklin reached toward the passenger seat before they started shooting. Prosecutor Ryan Mears says the shooting has not only impacted Macklin physically, but mentally and emotionally.
The question becomes, is that force reasonable? And so for us, we want to make sure we're in a position to gather as much information as possible, make sure we have all the medical records, we have all of our witnesses lined up, so they're in a position to be able to offer an opinion as to what took place and is this sort of conduct reasonable or not under the circumstances.
And Chief Taylor did place both Officer Chandler and Officer Gregory on administrative leave following those indictments. Taylor says he will review the internal affairs investigation with his executive staff. Now, we do want to let you know, minutes ago, we got a statement from the attorneys representing both officers. They say in their statement that they are disappointed in the prosecutor's decision to file criminal indictments against both officers. And of course, this is only probable cause. They should be considered innocent until proven guilty. And that's something that their attorneys say there is evidence. This body camera video, as well as testimonials that will prove that their clients acted in accordance with their training. They say they were defending their lives. They say that Macklin apparently grabbed the gun and raised it toward them. So this is something that will all play out in a courtroom whenever these two officers get that date to be in court with this jury trial. Scott?
All right, Karen Campbell, downtown here in Indianapolis. Thanks so much for that update.
And we've heard from Anthony Macklin and his family a couple times since this shooting.
Our John Duran has been reaching out to them today. He continues our team coverage tonight at 5. So, John, what'd they tell you?
Well, Scott, one word they used in a statement released to us this afternoon was grateful about these indictments. And on Monday afternoon, we're going to be at this East Side church that we're at right now, hearing from Anthony Macklin, Macklin's family, and attorneys. I also briefly spoke this afternoon with Macklin's grandmother, Vicki Driver, who had just learned about the indictments. She was emotional, had some family over, and said she was going to process the news that she had just learned together with family over the weekend. But she did use the word that she was happy with the news she got today. But this is what Anthony Macklin looked like in February, about a month after that shooting. At that point, he was hit 3 times sitting in his car. Macklin did have a gun, but the family said he never had it in his hand, pointed it at officers, or even reached for it. They say they're grateful the criminal process will begin against officers Gregory and Chandler, who the family says officers fired the majority of more than 30 rounds that were fired at Macklin's car. In a part of the statement, they say Anthony's only offense was being a young black man in a high-crime neighborhood. This shoot first and ask questions later approach to policing is illegal and cannot be tolerated. The family is also asking for IMPD Chief of Police Randall Taylor to suspend the officers without pay and recommend their termination to the merit board, saying the chief, has the ability to do both for up to 6 months while that criminal process, even if it is still playing out. Scott, Felicia.
John Duran, thank you, reporting live this evening. And we've been on top of this breaking news since the first push we sent from our WTHR News app this afternoon. And that's where we're going to keep you updated all night and as more information becomes available.